Now, I think the whole problem in the world, in the modern world, for Muslims at that time and even now, was tafheem-e-deen, understanding of Islam. Now, there are misconceptions in understanding. There are misleading interpretations of Islam, different areas of the world, and especially the subcontinent is swarming with these misconceptions and confusions and chaos. There have been many institutions in the subcontinent who have contributed a lot, but as a personality and single-handed work, Sayyid Maududi rose to the occasion, and he tried to make people understand Islam in its real sense. So Tafheem-e-Deen, our understanding of Islam, was the first front where Allama Iqbal thought the same, and Sayyid Maududi presented solution to this very challenge. How to understand this religion, this deen. And Iqbal interpreted in his own way, philosophically presented, especially in his thoughts in his famous lectures, Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam. And Maulana Maududi, coming to the challenge and rising to the challenge, made it possible how an Urdu speaking and Urdu learner can understand Islam in the better, rather the best way. And he wrote, Tafhim al-Quran Tafsir. And Tafsir is the encyclopedia, not only about Islamic narratives and Islamic thought, but also the contemporary perspectives. Maulana Maududi discusses all. I will never say that he rejects. He arguments against, or he gives his logic based upon Quran and Sunnah to not only oppose it, rather to suggest some way outs. So he, on the intellectual fronts, Sayyid Maududi defended and presented Islam in its real picture and real form. Where other institutions were working all together, yes, but Sayyid Maududi single-handedly stood up, and in the whole Ummah we can see the impact about understanding Islam as an ideology of life, understanding Islam as the ideology of time that can change the whole human life and globe as a whole. What is the economic system? What should be the political apparatus? And what should be the type of leadership in Ummah? This is what Maulana Maududi presented, and presented Islam as an ideology of life for whole humanity in the contemporary perspective. Second paradigm in which he worked was reconstruction, tajdeed, reconstruction in a way that the principles are already given to us in the Holy Book. And the principles are already manifested and given us in a role model of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And now those principles should be reinterpreted and should be presented in a way that they can become the solutions to the world problems. The problems being faced in the field of economy, the problems being faced in the field of politics, the problems being faced by Ummah in the field of foreign policies, international relations, and so on and so forth. So Maududi Sahib actually contributed in this way that it should be reconstructed where we know in the West the debate started in under the phrase political Islam. Now, this political Islam phrase coming from the Orientalists uh, was named in early 20th century. First book came in 1926 when political Islam was considered to be a movement against West. And it was uh, considered as a threat that Islam as Sufism, Islam as a way of worship, Islam as a peaceful ideology is acceptable. But if Islam challenges the whole system, the political, the economic, and the world international system, that it will be political Islam. Now, this political Islam must be attributed to Sayyid Maududi in the whole Islamic Ummah. And this is his contribution. The concept about jihad, which is now debated under the name that Maulana Maududi actually have sowed the seeds of this jihad in the subcontinent. I think this is again a misunderstanding even about Maulana Maududi. He wrote his first book, Jihad fil Islam, and where he actually interpreted and explained what is the real concept of jihad in Quran and Sunnah. And according to him, jihad is a social phenomena. It is not only a war technology. Jihad always never means qital, that is war, or use of power. Jihad is a social struggle, strife, putting all energies, putting heart and soul into it from a Muslim, from a follower of jihad, to change the society, the socio-economic area of society as well, the economic fronts of society, the ideological aspects of society. It is not only about war or use of power. It is about the soft power that emerges out of thought, ideology, and discourses and narratives, and that rule. So this is how Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi on the second front, he tajdeeded, I'm using this word, Englishizing the Urdu and Arabic. Actually, he reconstructed, okay, and reconstructed only our minds. Deen never needs to be reconstructed in a way if we are misconceiving it, and that he was a mutajaddid or mujaddid. I say that he was the best reformer of his time, and he is now. And he actually reconstructed Muslims' thought about Islam, understanding about Islam, and presentation. We know that Islam is facing the most important problem is that we are presenting and representing Islam, and that is wrong. Or other words, wrongly represented and wrongly understood and wrong. This is how he actually make us understand that real Islam lies within Quran, real Islam lies within Sunnah, and that should be interpreted in the way in which you are living, the paradigms in which you are surviving. This is second paradigm where he worked. First was tafhim, and second is tajdeed. Third is tahrik, movement. Now, we as Muslims always, in my opinion, either react or retaliate. And sometimes we want to replace. But what Maududi Saab has contributed is, we have to be proactive. We have to be not reactionary or retaliated, angry men in the world. Rather, we are to produce the leaders of the world who listen to other ideologies, then synthesize Islamic ideology with the contemporary perspectives, and then move on. इश्क फरमूदा कासिद से सुबुक गाम अमल और अक्ल समझी ही नहीं मानी ये पैगाम अभी. So this is what the difference Maulana Maududi taught, that you are to move, and you have already the torch, the light within yourself and within your hands. No, you are to lead, come forward without any prompting from the externals. Rather, you have to follow the inner promptings. You are to follow the intuitive thinking that coming from your own conscience. So this is how I think the third paradigm of Maulana Maududi comes to the light. And these three dimensions are basically to understand Sayyid Maududi's work. On one side, it was tafhim. On the other paradigm, it was tajdeed. And the third paradigm is to become a movement, a tahrik. This is how our narratives can go on. I will at the end suggest that conferences like this upon the narratives and discourses must be frequently held in different institutions, universities, not only in Pakistan, but also the whole world. And online is an opportunity where you can connect the whole globe, and you can have a dialogue, a global dialogue through online meetings and conferences. So I congratulate the hosts, and I feel honored to be the keynote speaker in a conference which belongs to Maulana Maududi, and only that Maududi, who has worked in three dimensions: Tafhim-e-Deen, Tajdid-e-Deen, in the Tajdid-e-Fiqr, and thirdly, making Deen a movement and tahreek for life. And this is a Deen which starts with peace, ends up with peace, and creates peace, preaches peace, and dominates peace. Udkhulu fi silmi kaffa. Thank you very much.